Simple Truth brand makes it easy to find better-for-you products that are free from unwanted ingredients. From fresh produce and snacks to household cleaners and more. You won't find artificial ingredients, preservatives, or harsh chemicals in Simple Truth products. So you can fill your fridge and your home with simple, easy-to-understand choices you can feel good about. Just look for the green Simple Truth circle to get the quality items you want, free from the ingredients you don't want. Simple Truth, exclusively at Baker's.
It's time. Time to get credit for the work you've done. Time to get the recognition you deserve. With Purdue Global, you can move forward in your career, for your family, and for yourself. You're worth the investment in yourself to earn a degree you're proud of, a degree that employers will respect. Purdue's online university is designed to support working adults like you who know it's never too late to accomplish your goals. It's never too late to make a comeback. It's time to start yours today at purdueglobal.edu.
Episode 33, 'Tis the Season to be Frugal.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome.
Hey.
It is another Frugal Friends Friday, and we are coming at you with a holiday edition, because I know I promised we wouldn't talk about holidays, but I lied.
Until they were upon us.
Right. Well, okay, so it's appropriate.
Yes.
It's an appropriate time. It's time to start talking about the holidays. And we're doing a 2-part series. We're only going to talk about it 2 times. It's fine.
Until next year.
Right, until next year. So this one's all about frugal fun, traditions, and how to really have the best frugal experience you can in this holiday season. So that is what our episode is on today. And if you're wondering who this is, if you haven't been an avid listener for all of our non-holiday specials, this is Jen.
And I'm over here and I'm Jill.
We're super excited. I'm excited as I do get around the holidays. What about you, Jill?
Oh, that's an understatement. I love Christmas. If you know anything about me ever, like if you've ever met me, no matter what time of year, you know that I love Christmas.
Yeah.
My love for Christmas is about as strong as my hatred for Halloween. So here we are.
I didn't know your hatred for Halloween was so strong, actually.
Yeah, it's there. I will say it was tempered a bit this year after I watched Coco, and I really felt, I don't know, it just kind of changed my view. I like the approach that the Mexican culture takes on Halloween, with the Day of the Dead. I think that, honoring ancestors helped me to embrace the season a bit more, but in general, Christmas is just better.
Christmas is where it's at. So if you're not into Christmas, you're not going to be our friend. But if you are, buckle up in your car, because we're going to get started with our sponsors, and we're going to dive right in to, I can't, speaking is hard. We are going to dive right in to all this content.
All right, here we go. So if you haven't heard us talk about it yet, you're going to hear it right now. Cook Smarts. It's an awesome meal planning service that is right now offering you guys, our listeners, 3 free weeks of meal plans. And wait, there's more, 25% off paid meal planning services if you use the promo code FRUGAL. CookSmarts is an affordable and flexible meal planning service, and it gives you recipes and instructions and weekend prep options and shopping lists. That's a lot of work taken off of your plate, and you can have access to all of this. 3 free weeks and 25% off. Check it out at frugalfriendspodcast.com/CS. So to get your 3 free weeks of meal plans and 25% off, head over to frugalfriendspodcast.com/CS. You won't be disappointed.
Yes, that promo code FRUGAL. It's exactly how you think it's spelled. And our other sponsor, our highlighted sponsor today, is Christmas lights.
Ooh.
It's time to put your Christmas lights up.
Yep.
Christmas lights. They serve as a beacon of hope to light your way down every street you're trying to get home to at a max speed of 5 miles per hour. Christmas lights serve as the perfect backdrop for your Kiki challenge if people are still doing that. And they let you really get to know your neighbors based on the quantity of inflatable reindeer in their yards.
Yes.
Christmas lights. Waste your gas looking at them, but don't leave them up past January 1st.
Ooh, it's also like a public service announcement.
I love it when they do that.
Yeah.
They just care enough about the people to advertise themselves and help everyone out.
Yeah. I do love Christmas lights.
I know, I do. I'll talk enough about them in the rest of the episode. It's fine.
Let's move into it.
Yeah.
People want to know how to have some frugal Christmas fun.
Yes. And I've never understood a lot of people who spend a lot of money around the Christmas holidays unless you're traveling, because there are so many free activities that, the Christmas season is really a treasure trove of frugalness.
Yeah. Not to mention, it's about spending time with people. So generally, that shouldn't cost you money unless you do rent your friends.
Correct. Yes. And there are a lot of alternatives to going out to bars and restaurants. And we'll talk about maybe trying to change some of those Christmas holiday traditions from expensive ones to more free and frugal options. So we're definitely going to get into that. But our first article is just a public service announcement, general reminder on the 9 best ways to save money during the holiday season. And this one is from Money Crashers. What'd you think of it, Jill?
I thought it was good. I think a lot of it is a bit obvious, but still good reminders because I'm not often reflecting on this. It happens once a year. So generally, I think about Christmas a lot, but most people, I get it. You don't. One thing that did surprise, I've heard this a lot. On average, it listed that Americans spend about $800 on Christmas. And I don't know. It didn't sound like that much to me. Not that I don't think I spend more than that. It is a hefty number, but I don't know. That was kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, I think that they might take into consideration people that have to travel out of town.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because I never find myself spending that much. Maybe on the years, like cumulatively, the number of Christmas trees I've purchased could equal 800. But yeah, we have family that's all local, so we're driving very little. We're not flying.
Right.
And we've all taken some of these steps to being more frugal, so that I've never found that I've spent that much.
Yeah, that's true. What did you like about this article, Jen?
I really liked number 3, which is cut back on the extras. So some of these are pretty obvious, but like Jill said, you only have Christmas once a year, and so every one of these savings tips begs for a reminder. And the example they give on Money Crashers is if you are getting a pumpkin spice latte 3 times per week through December, that's $162 you've spent on pricey drinks.
Yep.
And so you can still treat yourself and enjoy these seasonal drinks, but just cut back on them because you can use $162 to create a really unforgettable experience or buy a really unforgettable gift. You could use $50 for that. You just cut back to twice a week.
Or learn how to make them yourself. You could go out and get maybe the specialty creamer that would help you to make the drink yourself. And even still, you're going to save so much more than paying somebody else to do that for you. And now with those, what are they called? The Clover app or the other one where when you go into coffee shops and you're paying and they're flipping the screen around to you and saying like for you to sign the screen, but now it's like, and what do you want to tip? Usually I wouldn't tip, but now it's like, oh my word, there's pressure and they're going to see right away whether or not I tipped. So like even with that, you're going to be spending more money because now we're tipping a whole lot more than we used to because we feel the pressure with all these new ways of paying.
Yeah, I talked to a guy the other day who would only tip spare change at his coffee shop, and he thought that that was being stingy. And I was like, that's more than I usually tip at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Unless I'm getting something that's like an artisanal cocktail-like coffee drink.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just getting drip coffee. Like you're literally just like pumping it out of the carafe into a cup for me, but I'm still giving you $1 because I feel pressure. So instead, I'm just going to stay at home, make my own coffee.
Yeah. So coffee's clearly a buzz for us, buzzword. Yeah. But they talk about other things too, like splurging on a pair of shoes for a Christmas party or paying for photos with Santa. There are other ways to get the stuff. Like you can borrow a pair of shoes from a friend. You can go to Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's. I'm pretty sure it's there too, but they have free photos with Santa. And it's, maybe you have to walk into a Bass Pro Shop, but you're still getting free photos with Santa. So there are alternatives in order to still indulge and still experience the holiday, but just cut back.
Or just get Uncle Tony to dress up as Santa, put the kids on his lap, take some pictures. The kids are afraid of Santa anyhow, usually.
They kind of
just,
are.
Like, all
they are
so scared that what's the point?
I don't think I want to do that with my kids. It just seems like a weird tradition. And maybe I will feel differently when I have a child. But for now, it seems like a weird tradition.
It is. I feel weird about it. Every time I'm in the mall, I'm like, why is this happening? It's not even a good picture either. It's
rarely
real weird.
Sometimes they're good because they're so bad.
That's what makes them good.
Yeah.
We should have people share their funny pictures with Santa on our Facebook.
If you have any, then definitely share them in our Facebook group, or Frugal Friends community.
Or if you have a good one that you can convince me that like they can ever look nice, you're free to try.
I just want to see your bad ones.
Yeah. I mean,
how about you, Jill?
Yeah. So I think they also talked about budgeting, which I think speaks to what you should have been doing already. So sorry for those of you who maybe haven't been implementing this, but we are at the new year. So there's always next year. You can get a head start. But putting aside money every year, but then also setting a budget for how much will you spend and tracking that. And then number 8, they mentioned in here, and they're all kind of connected, but knowing when to stop. And this speaks to stopping when you've reached your budget, but also stopping when you've bought all the things you need to buy. And I've got to catch myself there too. Sometimes I'm done. I have the things that I need, but then it's like, oh, but what about this? Or I could give them another gift. I could do these 2 gifts, or let me buy this because then I'll hold on to it for next year. And it's like, whoa, you got ahead of yourself. You need to be cut off. So I think it all kind of goes together of budgeting, tracking spending, knowing when to stop. But again, setting a realistic budget. Don't be like, I'm only going to spend $10 this year, because then that's just going to go out the window. But taking into account some of these unexpected expenses, like, will you have a Christmas party with your work? What are your kids going to need to give gifts to their teachers? Or do you want to give a gift to the mailman this year? I think that's a great tradition. Just really kind of think through the whole holiday season, because we're not just talking gifts, we're talking parties, we're talking gatherings, we're talking food, extra food expenses. So consider it all, figure out where you can cut some and budget. Yeah,
this is the perfect time right now to be listing out your budget. You're right in the thick of it. And like, you can kind of get a picture of everything you'll need to spend. And I love the idea of if you are like a struggling impulse spender and the idea of only buying the things on your list sounds horrible to you, you can give yourself a little freedom with like maybe giving yourself a $20 impulse budget. So that's, I mean, you can't find all of the deals in the ad when you go out. So definitely give yourself grace, know thyself, and yeah, set a budget that's realistic.
And I think along with this, and we've touched on this a bit, but watching your spending on yourself. Like this is the time of giving. And I'm not saying completely deprive yourself, but I think we can go overboard with that. So recognize that there is great joy in giving to other people and focusing attention on others' needs. So that goes into buying those impulse buys, or how many lattes are you getting at Starbucks? And who is that decoration really for?
I know. It sounds so bad, but I have more of a problem overspending on myself than I do on gifts for other people. I'm not a great gift giver, and I don't really receive gifts well either.
You mean like when someone gives you a gift, you don't know how to say thank you?
I mean, I say things. I know I'm a human being. Like, I know how to be polite. I just, I don't get the same joy as other people do. Like, that's not one of my love languages. So to give or receive.
Yeah.
But I know for sure what I want. And I will take advantage of those sales to get it.
That is a tough thing because you're probably out shopping more than you typically would be. And you're like, well, I don't know what to get for so-and-so, but I know I like all these things.
Yeah.
Put them in the cart.
Yeah. So that's something I personally have to be really aware of and make sure my budget accounts for that. Yeah. Another one that I liked on this one was number 5, choose cheaper traditions.
Yeah.
And we will talk about this for the duration of the rest of the episode. But I know for a fact there are so many things, because I did research in not just my city, but other cities around the U.S. for all the free things there are to do around the holidays. So we have our platinum sponsor, Christmas lights.
Yes.
Those are always a great thing to tour. If you live in a warmer climate, I recommend biking or walking so you don't, lose out on the gas. But that's a great tradition. And they list things like watching movies and sledding, and they do list seeing Santa, but I mean, I'm thinking they're just walking by him and waving hi.
There he is. We had a sighting.
Yeah. But like, if you already have the higher expenses out of necessity, like travel or gift giving, it's hard with gift giving because sometimes you have to give gifts to a lot of people or you're viewed negatively by your family. So I feel like once you become financially conscious, you have to kind of wean yourself off over multiple holidays. You can't just go cold turkey. I mean, some people can. They are strong enough. But I think if you whittle it down every year for a few years, you can trick your family into not knowing that you're
a Grinch.
Frugal.
Oh, frugal. Frugal. Not the Grinch. Frugal. That's right.
No.
That's right. They're not the same, right? They're not.
You can love Christmas and not get gifts for every single person in your family. So, but if you are still in a point where gift giving is your love language or you have to do that, there are so many free activities that can replace going out to dinner or, expensive. There's this ice thing at Gaylord Palms. Do you have ice in Pennsylvania?
What? Like, just in general, do we have
I'm sorry.
ice?
This was a stupid question for me to ask. In Florida, where we don't see snow or ice, at Gaylord Palms, they have a thing called ice where you walk through and there are ice sculptures everywhere. And they give you this big parka because it's 9 degrees. And it's fun, but it's like expensive. And I see whole families going, and I was like, that's not cheap.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
It's cool, like
But-
one time, but it doesn't have to be a tradition. There are a
Right.
lot of things that you can do for free or cheap.
You could live in the north and there's always ice.
I'm so sorry for you.
And ice on people's hearts, too. We're so mean. We are so rude. It's okay. We speak our minds, though. There's good to it. There's some good
so
things.
I don't know how to respond to that. Keep going,
we're
Jill.
gonna
Keep going. Get happy again.
We're going to keep going.
We know New Year's resolutions often don't stick. In fact, on average, they last around 30 days. So if saving money is on your 2024 resolution list, here's a foolproof way to stick to yours.
Switch your phone provider to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month.
For those of you paying close to $40 a month for just one phone line, this means a savings of $300 over the course of the year. We especially like Mint because all plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/frugal. That's mintmobile.com/frugal. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/frugal. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So, buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So, how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing. And of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. Oracle.com/strategic.
Yeah, are we moving into this next article? Because I think they've got the good stuff on the cheap traditions.
Okay, you went through everything you wanted to on this one?
I did, yep.
Oh, fantastic. Great. This is my favorite.
Okay.
So we have an article from And Then We Saved, and it is 24 free or super cheap Christmas activities.
I
So
like that.
these are your traditions, your extra things to do with your kids when they're off school, to do with yourself,
Yeah,
when you want to take yourself on a date.
because it's a Christmas season. Like, it's not just December 25th. Actually, December 25th is kind of when it's all over, and then everybody expects you to wrap it all up the next day. So we're talking,
Wrap those lights up.
We're talking the weeks that we're in right now. This is when you really enjoy it. And so I really liked a lot of the ideas that they gave, that we're talking about enjoying time together with friends and with family, and how to do that inexpensively. Because it doesn't have to be expensive. Memories don't have to cost you a fortune.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing on this list, Jill?
Ooh. Okay. My favorite thing, maybe the most unique thing, is like touring a candy factory. I found that to be pretty creative, because I think we think sweets at the holidays and it's kind of festive. So I like that idea of going to like a chocolate shop or a candy factory in your area and having a tour. And a lot of times they'll give you free sweets and treats at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't just look for the big names, because there are a lot of smaller candy places that will do tours or at least tastings. And sometimes they'll cost a little. Like, we went to one in Seattle that cost $10.
Okay.
But we got to eat so much chocolate, and even their like nice truffles
Ooh.
that would have cost us like $3 a truffle or something.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're out there, and I would say even if you can find tours of like other places too.
Yeah. It doesn't have to just be
time.
a candy factory. It could be anything.
Yeah. I love number 20, special lights displays.
There it is again. Christmas lights.
Brought to you by Christmas Lights, a national sponsor of the Frugal Friends podcast. So I love that she says they are all about Christmas lights in their family too.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll go to different neighborhoods, and everybody's got a neighborhood where they really do the lights.
Yep.
We have 2, and then we have boat parades because we're right on the water.
Whoa.
And yeah, where they wrap up all the boats in lights. And then you don't even have to go anywhere. I mean, I guess that's more of a parade, but you're really just in it for the lights.
So the boats drive by in the water? They literally do a parade in the water? Oh my gosh.
I know.
Why do I live where I live?
It's so fantastic.
That's
so you can see all the
amazing.
Christmas lights and you don't even have to go anywhere.
Oh my word. My heart is exploding just thinking about the sight of boats on the water with Christmas lights in the warmth. Holy smokes.
And we also have light tours on bikes. So I guess it's not plural, but our running group that we participate in will do, they'll light up all of their bikes with Christmas lights, like the battery operated ones.
Whoa.
And it'll be a group of maybe like 200 people on bikes going through the neighborhood looking at Christmas lights. And like the bikes themselves are a sight.
So the takeaway really from this episode is save up all your money to go to St. Petersburg for Christmas.
Maybe that should be
just the
moral
plan.
of the episode.
Jeez.
But it's because we live in such a great climate. We have so many extra things associated with Christmas lights.
Yeah.
So Christmas lights are a real big thing here.
Well, here's the best thing you can do in our area with Christmas lights is find a house that has put their lights to music. And when you're out in front of it, you tune your radio station to like a special radio station. And that's cool. Yeah, I thought that was really cool up until this moment when you're telling me about boats on the water with Christmas lights.
Oh my gosh. Jill, I'm not going to one-up you, but in Orlando, so if we have any listeners, but I've never seen this light display, but it's been on my list for 2 years, and I think this year I'm really going to make it down there. So it's in Orlando, and it is an entire street of people that have lights like that, and they were on like the Great American Light competition, like Christmas light competition.
Whoa!
But it is massive displays of lights on this entire road. It's called the Lights on Jeter Bend.
It's like they all got together and decided that they were all rich and they could do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I wonder how that happens. Like, who starts that? Who sends the first little letter or note and like, hey, I'm rich. Are you too? Let's do this thing.
Let's do this thing. Good for them, though. I'm glad I don't live on that street. Because I would be the house with just one string of lights.
100%. Yep. I'd be like, listen to whatever radio station you want to listen to and honk along.
Yeah. So that's on my list to go see this year. And if I do see it, I will post pictures in the Facebook group and get really excited.
Okay. I'll live vicariously through you, just like I do every other day of my life since we've met. All right. Well, another one that I liked, the rest of this episode is just going to be me depressed, thinking I knew Christmas.
You do have so many more things to do up there that we don't.
Thanks for the pep talk. Yeah. Well, okay. Here is one thing that you can do in the North that would not be possible there. So check if you live in the North, if you're depressed like me, then you know that there might be parks around that flood a little section of the park park, not much, it'd be maybe like a foot of water in like a divot area, and create like an ice skating rink. So we have a couple of those around here. So then that would be free ice skating, which ice skating can be expensive. So if you find a pair of ice skating shoes or ice skates at a thrift store, and then you find a local park that has frozen over a patch of land, that's a fun little thing to do when it's frigid.
Yeah, I used to ice skate competitively.
Of course you did.
And it was not cheap. It was the most expensive sport.
How long did you do that for? When did you stop that?
I did it in middle school and high school.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I bet you still have skills.
I try to go every holiday and just see what I can still do. And I can still stay upright. I can still skate without the help of the edge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see at these parks there is no edge. You are without borders. So if you fall...
Skaters without borders.
Yes.
Don't become a skater beyond the border.
Yeah.
Here is something we can both do together but separate, and it's bake cookies.
Ooh.
I don't do a lot of baking or cooking for that matter, if you know me. But I do take the holiday season as an excuse to use my KitchenAid mixer weekly, if not more, and make cookies from scratch.
Look at you.
So I will
What do you do with all those cookies?
I'll give them as gifts.
Ooh.
Or take them if I have a potluck, because cookies are really inexpensive to make, and you can freeze the dough to have them like later, in January, February.
Yeah.
And they are really quick if you need like a last minute something to bring to a party or what have you.
Yeah. See, I'm similar in that way. This is like kind of a double whammy, because not only is it something to do that's inexpensive, but it doubles then as a gift. And I feel the same way about like DIY gifts. And I know we'll get more into that in our next episode. Wait for it. But wink, wink, that's upcoming. But that is something fun for me, to be at home, to put on some fun Christmas music and either DIY gifts or bake or something. That is kind of, two birds, one stone kind of idea.
Yes. And I feel super domestic, and I get to experiment with new cookie recipes. So there's always this Martha Stewart chocolate gingerbread one that I'll do every year, because it's just so delicious and soft and perfect. And I can never get cooking perfect. Like, cooking is an art, but baking is a science. And science I know. Like, I can do science. So
I like that.
I can really
put that one on a bumper sticker.
Thank you. Yes, I would.
I can do science.
I can do science. So I can really make perfect cookies, because everybody can make perfect cookies. It's possible for you and me.
And you can invite a friend in on this. Similar to how we talk about cooking together and maybe splitting it up. You can also do this with friends. So it's another way to spend time with people over the holiday season. Baking together and either exchanging the cookies or just, taking home what you made if you don't trust your friend. Or doing the cookie exchanges. There's so much. There's so many things you can do with cookies.
Yeah. I feel like there's always a lot of questionable cookies at cookie exchanges.
Yeah. You always get the weird ones. Like, who eats that?
Yeah.
Why does this always show up
Why'd you
in
make
the cookie
that?
box?
Why? Why'd you do that?
It usually has some version of like a weird fruit or vegetable. And it's like, why did you feel the need to put zucchini into chocolate chip cookies? Like, no. Don't ever try. This is the one time of year when vegetables can stay out of it.
Right. Somebody's going to come at us with a really good zucchini cookie recipe.
Listen, that's fine, but don't put it in the cookie box.
Yeah, don't put it in the cookie exchange. Give it to your children.
Don't act like that's a gift. Like that's a fun gift someone wants to receive.
Give your kale cookies to your kids. And just leave the plain old chocolate chip for your friends.
Yes, you're responsible for your children's health, not everybody else's.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, decorating. Why not? Right? Oh, you can spend so much time decorating, and this can be frugal too because paper snowflakes. One year I went nuts with the paper snowflakes. I put them all over the ceiling. You walked in and it literally felt like it was a drop ceiling because there were all these like I mean, I'm not going to say it came close to Elf, but like if you've seen Elf and you've seen how he decorated the toy store, like it was a little bit like that.
That you have to be really crafty for. I am not super crafty. So paper snowflakes would not be my thing. I do have a good group of Christmas decorations. They've been with me for a long time, and I use them every year. And I don't spend extra money on Christmas decorations. But I do
Good for you.
love every year putting those decorations up.
Good for you.
Because I am of the mind that less is more.
Yeah.
So my roof is not covered with snowflakes. Nor is my ceiling.
Listen, this is a little bit before my minimalist days. And I will say Christmas can sometimes trump minimalism for me. Although I have gotten rid of a ton of Christmas decorations. It all fits into a small box now, which is a little bit sad for me.
Well, that's a good thing,
but
though.
paper snowflakes, because yeah, you can even use it out of old magazines and then throw it away. Recycle it, I mean.
So your snowflakes aren't necessarily white?
Well, usually they are, but I just had the idea, like literally just now, that you could do it with magazines. Why not? That'd be fun.
For sure. If that's what you're into. You could also be into volunteering. Number 9,
Yes.
which was one of my favorites. I used to work at a group foster home, and every year you could be sure that every weekend a new group would be coming in. And while it seemed on the surface a very superficial, let's get our serving out of the way because it's December moment, there would be an hour or so where I would not have to worry about all the kids staying alive. Like I knew there were other adults in the room making sure they stayed alive. And that was rest for me.
Every hour counts.
It does.
In those situations.
Right? When you're watching 6 kids by yourself, every minute counts. So even if you are feeling like you don't want to be like that superficial person that only serves around the holidays or whatever, know that anything you do is going to be helpful as long as it's organized through the organization and they say it's helpful to them.
Right. Yeah. Don't come in
show
thinking you know what's going to be helpful. Ask these places.
But yeah, it's a good thing.
And similar, I can vouch for that as well. I mean, all of my work has been in the nonprofit world, and it is a bit disheartening that you only really do see it around the holidays. So if you catch a spark for it, continue it throughout the year. But I will say, I did love the holidays for this time because community came together, and as the worker, you are helping not only like the clients or the participants in a program, but you're also helping the people who serve in those programs on a daily basis. So like you may not realize like the full impact of what your service is doing, but it helps and it gives them something to look forward to. It's a change of pace to have new people come in and to serve alongside and to assist in what you're doing. So I think there is a greater impact than you may realize, even on the people who do it year round, who may be working that holiday. There's a lot of people in the nonprofit world, residential facilities that are working on the holidays. So definitely keep that in mind because it can make a big difference for people.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Another idea that this article listed as far as fun, frugal things to do. And I also had heard this from a friend of mine, Elizabeth, shout out Elizabeth, making gift wrapping an event. So she'll get together with friends or family that maybe, obviously not family members who are receiving the gifts that she's wrapping, but getting together and making that a thing where they all drink hot chocolate, they wear their pajamas, they turn on a Christmas movie, and they have a wrapping party. So I thought that was a fun way of just like incorporating people into all aspects of what you're doing, that it doesn't have to be this frenzied thing that you do in the middle of the night by yourself. That you can make any part of it fun with people.
I think that's especially good if you have kids and you're trying to keep the gifts away from your kids until they're wrapped, and that's a really fun way to do it. Well, I mean, that's all
I had, which that doesn't mean that that's all for this show, because it's about time for the best time.
The best time is
the Bill of the Week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the Bill of the Week.
Oh, this is for the Bill of the Week from a new listener here in Houma, Louisiana. On my long commute to Metairie to work as a medical coder, breaking in the field. Oh, where have you been, Billy boy, Billy boy? Oh, where have you been, charming Billy? I have been to seek a wife, she's the darling of my life. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Can she bake a cherry pie, Billy boy, Billy boy? Can she bake a cherry pie, charming Billy? She can bake a cherry pie, fast the cat can wink and sigh. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. That's it.
I get that name again.
Yes. Heck yes. Oh my word, that was bold, and that was fun, and that was frugal, and that was on topic, and that was a cappella, and you should see my face. I love it so much.
My
Thank
face
you.
anytime we play the Bill of the Week is just a reaction to Jill's.
Yeah, we should probably video our reactions, because they're always raw, and
right.
You're getting exactly my reaction, and I love it. Thank you. I swear to you, we have the best listeners with some creativity, just providing fun for all.
I know. My favorite thing about this bill, I have to say, is that the transcription of it says her name is Brother Bill. It says Brother Bill of the Week. So before I heard this, I just denoted it as a Bill of the Week from Brother Bill. And then I heard it. So
that's amazing.
Thank you so much for your serenade of Billy Boy. And
I think you did 2 verses too, so we didn't miss out on much with that.
She
song.
did. She got it. She nailed it. It was lit. So if you have a Bill of the Week, if this has jogged your creativity and you want to share something with us, head over to frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill and leave us yours. It can be spoken or sung.
Simple Truth brand makes it easy to find better-for-you products that are free from unwanted ingredients. From fresh produce and snacks to household cleaners and more. You won't find artificial ingredients, preservatives, or harsh chemicals in Simple Truth products. So you can fill your fridge and your home with simple, easy-to-understand choices you can feel good about. Just look for the green Simple Truth circle to get the quality items you want, free from the ingredients you don't want. Simple Truth, exclusively at Baker's.
It's never too late. Never too late to earn a degree. Never too late for a comeback. Between your busy career and taking care of a family, it can feel like there's never a good time to go back to school. But your time is now. Time to start your comeback with Purdue Global. As Purdue's online university for working adults, Purdue Global is dedicated to supporting adults like you who know it's time to earn the recognition you deserve. You have the experience, you have the knowledge. It's time to get credit for the work you've done. You can balance work, family, and everything in between while earning your degree. It's time to move forward in your career, for your family and for yourself, with a degree you're proud of, a degree that employers will recognize and respect. You're worth this investment in yourself to earn a degree you deserve. It's never too late. Never too late to go back to school and come back stronger with an education you can trust. Now is the time for your comeback. Start yours today at purdueglobal.edu.
We had a song that was spoken, actually, before.
Yeah.
Spoken word.
Yep. Nothing's off
Possibilities are
limits.
endless.
In case
Yeah.
you haven't picked that up from listening to this podcast already, literally nothing is off limits.
Yeah. Well,
Except for playing songs from the radio, because we could actually get in trouble for that.
yeah, we can't do a lot of that. Or profanity, because then we'd have to put the E on our pod. Yeah. But anyways, if what we gave you the first half of the episode wasn't enough, we would like to wrap up with some of our own ideas, because nobody asked us what we thought when they wrote these articles.
I didn't get that phone call.
No, so you get it here and now.
Here we go. I'm starting us off strong with some gingerbread houses. Am I right? You don't have to buy a kit either. You can make your own gingerbread houses. You can do this. And that's a fun thing to do with people. Also,
How do you make your own gingerbread, like, construction equipment? Like,
What are you talking
walls and things. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's gingerbread. You make gingerbread.
Just roll it out?
Yeah, there's recipes. I could post a recipe for you online, but you make it. It's like making a gingerbread cookie, but then certain ingredients that would make it, not bread like. It wouldn't fall apart. They're more like hard cracker cookie.
Okay.
And then, the icing is your glue and mortar, and depending on whether or not you're going to eat it, you can use anything from your fridge to decorate that sucker. You can incorporate your kale here if you'd like.
Yeah, as grass.
Yep, trees, anything.
Yeah, make your Christmas tree for your gingerbread house with your kale. Because what else are you going to use it for?
Exactly. It's not like you can eat that stuff. Just put it on your gingerbread house.
Unless you're going to massage it.
Ooh, yeah, you can massage kale, which, have we ever clarified that?
I think we tried to, that you should massage your kale with your hands for 60 seconds.
Yeah, you're the person who introduced me to that, and I noticed the difference that it made from massaging the kale. It's great.
Right. But yeah,
that's off topic.
Moving on.
Also, check into your local cities if there are special events. Like in my area in Philly, there's this German Christmas village with special German food and Christmas gifts. And it's just a really fun thing to walk through and enjoy, even if you don't purchase anything. It's different. It's unique. Anytime places shut down roads, it's fun. Except for if they're shutting it down because there's there's tragedy on the loose. That's not fun. Also, craft shows. These are fun. Usually you can find these at your local church. And you get to see all the stuff that the grannies have been working on throughout the year. Isn't that sweet? But also, this is a way to support local, too. It's not all grandmas who sell at craft shows, just mostly. But there are some cute things if you want to buy some little crocheted and knitted things and just have a fun day out. And then this is something that I enjoy doing. I like to take on a winter project. So this isn't maybe just Christmas time. It starts around this time of year and then bleeds into probably February. But I more so take the approach of, rather than splurging money on myself and that being like my, treat myself thing, I would prefer to give myself some time, like treating myself with time and things that I enjoy doing. So this is one of those things. I'll do like a winter project every year, and that's fun for me to either watch a Christmas movie or listen to music while I'm working on something. So this year I'm going to make a quilt So it's just fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, you seem to have a little bit more time in the evenings. At least I try to cut out more time in the evenings to treat myself to some time on projects I enjoy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I have enough projects going on, but I will carve out more time to work on them.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have a lot of projects. I'm not saying every year I get to do this, but if I do, that's my treat. Not like $5 coffees at Starbucks. I'd rather like spend time doing something I like. Yeah. What about you? What are your tips, Jen?
Well, you're an inspiration, so mine kind of seem a little silly.
But you live in Florida, so we know who really
everything
wins.
is silly. Yeah, everything's silly here. So I really like the corny Christmas stuff. We have a lot of over-the-top and corny things here. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just because we're corny and over-the-top people. But
I like it. I like you.
Yeah. So I have been to a drive-through live nativity. And live nativities are fun. Sometimes they have real animals, but this one was a drive-through. So it was especially interesting.
I'm sure it felt super authentic to be in your car.
In your car, right, looking at the babe Jesus. So on the side of the road, on a busy road.
In Florida.
Yeah. So that is comical. I also love over-the-top light displays. I mentioned the lights on Jeter Ben, and so those are an actual legit light display that will wow you. We personally have a light display near our house that will wow you, but for different reasons. And it's because from the outside, it looks awesome, and the closer you get into it, like they'll do tours and stuff, the weirder it gets, the deeper you get in. And so Travis doesn't like it, but I love it because it's so kitschy. Like, you have to know what you're going into with this stuff. So sometimes if you live in a small town or there's not as many options for doing things, still participate in some of these things because you can still have fun just as long as you know what you're getting yourself into.
It's all fun.
Right. And these people work hard to put these things on. And it's still fun to kind of see what's going on and to just kind of appreciate the kitschy corniness of it.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. So that was kind of my contribution to it. Because, I mean, other than that, it's weird going to the beach stuff and going to Disney.
Oh, gosh, that is weird.
I know. I could give you my Disney tips for Christmas if anyone will be near Disney World. There are so many things to do outside of going to the parks.
Whoa.
That are super free. Yeah. There are giant gingerbread house displays like inside the Grand Floridian and other hotels.
Whoa.
That you can get and see for free. There's a Christmas tree big display at Disney Springs that's free.
Wow.
And yeah, and then they'll have live performances and things for the kids to do.
Wow.
So very Florida stuff.
Sure. But basically, I mean, check your area because there is guaranteed free stuff all around you. So go and do that. Don't assume that you have to just do the thing you've always done that costs a ton of money.
Yeah.
Check out the free things.
If you are exhausted by Christmas in general and you're like, I just don't see how I'm going to get out and do all this stuff, take some time for self-care, too. Stay home. Maybe don't do everything.
Yeah.
But there's never more going on during the holidays. And for frugal people, it's just a treasure trove. And take advantage of all the free things because they don't come up this frequently the rest of the year.
Good one.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of free things or frugal things, we are still doing our book club. So it's December right now, in case you haven't picked up on that one. Context clues. We're reading The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley, and we're continuing our giveaway of that book.
So if you want a free copy of The Millionaire Next Door, leave us a review on iTunes or Stitcher, screenshot the review, and send it to frugalfriendspodcast@gmail.com. We are giving away one copy for every 5 reviews, no limit. and we will select winners at the end of the month.
Yes. And if you are listening to this right now and you're thinking, gosh, I want in on this. I want free things. I want all the free things. But, oh man, I've never written a review before. Google always wants me to do it. Yelp always wants me to do it. I just don't know what to say. Well, here's an example. And again, it's always a 5-star example because that's what a review is. And this one is from Mgadahunbi. And they say, great podcast. Great name, great podcast.
Great name, yeah.
I really enjoy this podcast and all the information it provides. I especially like these girls are young and offer practical advice after doing their own research. If you're looking for ways to save money or learn more about paying off debt, this podcast is a great start. Gosh, they think we're young. What gave that away? Is it my voice?
I know. I'm 50.
How do they know I'm so young? I am young. I'm
young
at heart. I'm
I'm old at heart.
Cold-hearted young person living in the North.
I've been old since I was young.
Yeah. So many people say that they feel young, right? So many people are like, "Oh man, I'm this age, but I feel 21." I've never related to that. I always have just felt like 42. I'm not 42, but that's how I feel. I feel 42.
Yeah, my body feels 29 most days, but my insides, my heart, and my soul feel about 92.
Amazing. So much wisdom in there.
Yeah.
I feel middle-aged on it all. Like I don't have all that wisdom, but like my body also is not doing what it should do anymore. It's just kind of like that. It's like middle school all over again for adults. Just 42.
Oh. Well, thanks for tuning into the Self-Deprecating Ageist podcast. If you want to hear more from us every single Friday, hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening, and we'll come at you every week with more frugal and possibly self-deprecating goodness. See you guys.
Bye.
Frugal Friends is produced, edited, and mixed by Eric Sirianni.
But also when you're 42, you don't care what other people think about you.
Right. So I heard somebody say, like, when she turned 35 or 40, one of those ages, she stopped caring about what people thought. And I was like, oh God, that happened for me at 25. Yes. So yes. I don't know if that's normal.
That stopped for me at 13, and you could see that based on pictures of me at 13.
Ditto.
But I just don't care. And you do hear that. People are like, yeah, that's the thing that separates people in their 40s and 50s. You just start not to care anymore. And I'm like, I don't know what that's going to mean for me when I am in my 40s and 50s, because I don't care.
I have to actively remember, like, oh God, you're still in your 20s.
Yes.
Put some effort into it.
Act young. Act your age.
Yeah, I have to constantly remember to try and act my age.
Like, oh, I should get that pop culture reference, but I don't.
I threw in a pop culture reference at the beginning of this.
Kiki.
I don't know if people are still doing that. It's probably like last month.
I don't think they're still doing that. But I didn't learn about that until like the tail end of that.
Right.
So
I'm trying.
I do live under a rock. And that's okay. Because again, I'm 42 and I don't care.
Rocks are free.
And rocks are free. They're great living places. Have you seen how many critters like to live under rocks? Like there's a reason. It's cold and dark, and it's perfect.
Simple Truth brand makes it easy to find better-for-you products that are free from unwanted ingredients. From fresh produce and snacks to household cleaners and more. You won't find artificial ingredients, preservatives, or harsh chemicals in Simple Truth products. So you can fill your fridge and your home with simple, easy-to-understand choices you can feel good about. Just look for the green Simple Truth circle to get the quality items you want, free from the ingredients you don't want. Simple Truth. exclusively at Baker's.
A group of high school students started a project to research a string of unsolved murders.
There is no profile of this killer except for the ones the students created.
What if this guy's still alive? Like, what if he comes after us?
Once you start getting a few tips or a few leads or a few identifications, then the cold case isn't so cold anymore.
This is Murder 101. Listen to Murder 101 on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.